All right, good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Tuesday's best on the Raiderland.com. We're coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios tonight, brought to you in part by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty. He's got a lot of great properties. Check out his Facebook page for Kyle Rogers in Lubbock. And my Premier Sportsplex, the game is on this holiday season. Hey, for members, they got a cool thing going. You can go out shopping, let the kids hang out, play, come pick them up later. It's a good deal. All right, so we've got Texas Tech football to look at, basketball. We got greatest salsa you've ever had. And then what were we talking about today? Oh, yeah, Tuesday's best, two best Christmas specials of all time. All of those things going on tonight. Well, what are you going to do about it? You going to jump in the show? Like Craig, the talking box is on. You let us know the audio is good, the video is good. You join us that way. If you are on Twitter, if you are on YouTube, use the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197. Greetings to you. Our friends there at Shotgun Willie's in Red River, New Mexico. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, where you find everything you need in Raiderland, including our morning columns, including our 60 seconds of Raiderland commentaries, all those things, hot links, yes, cool stuff we find on the internet. We archive it for you. We put it out there every morning, so check it out, TheRaiderland.com. Glad to be in the Arctic Air Studios. Perhaps your air was a little too Arctic. Call the bear, callthebear.com. All right, so it's Tuesday. Tuesday's best. We want the two best examples you have of Christmas specials. 'Tis the season. The shows are about to start. We want that. We want to hear from you tonight on Always Food in Raiderland. On Tuesdays, we make it official. Hat tip, Food Network, best thing ever ate. Best salsa. Store-bought restaurant. Not your homemade salsa, which I know is better than anything anybody else does. But what I want from you tonight is the best salsa we can get, that I can get. And again, I know everybody has their own favorite. I make my own salsa. It's just like steaks. Oh, you need to come to my house. I can't come to your house. So tell me where to get it. So store-bought and restaurant salsa. Best salsa you got. We got football to look at. We had the commentary yesterday that some people liked, some people didn't, where I said Taj Brooks does not need to play in the bowl game, whatever bowl game you play in, whatever, secondhand, itchy, scratchy bowl.com you're in, Taj Brooks doesn't need to play. And people were saying, well, what's the point of playing in a bowl game? Well, there really isn't one, except you have to under Big 12 rules. In my world, everything outside of the playoff would be done. There would be no more bowl games. But bowl games are huge tax write-offs for corporations and companies, and they employ a bunch of civic do-gooders and whatnot, and it's going to be hard to get rid of the bowl games. So you're going to have to play them. So we're sorry about that. But there's no reason anybody like Taj Brooks should play in the bowl game. And if you want him to, you're a selfish fan. You don't get it. Carlito's Fire Roasted Salsa. Get it at United, in all United supermarkets. Yes, Carlito's about 20 years ago raised the bar on store-bought salsa. The Fire Roasted, the Verde. I almost said the Green Verde. God, how West Texas am I? The old Green Verde. Get that Green Verde. Not the Red Verde. Get the Green Verde. Yeah, the Ghost. You know what? It's funny. I got the Ghost pepper one they did about a year or two ago. Probably the worst one they've ever done. They fell into the trap of trying to make something hot instead of making it tasty. And most of what Carlito's does is tasty as hell. That was the only fella they had. Yeah, the Fire Roasted is good. So yeah, greatest salsa, best salsa you've ever had. Mentioned Montelongo's in the column today. I would say if you go back over the last 25, 30 years, maybe more, the original Josie's, and for me, the original Josie's was north of Texas Tech on a university in about, second, right in through there, that the original Josie salsa that you got at the restaurant with the perfect pairing of chips. Montelongo's runs a close second to me still, and their chips are they're a little thicker than what I normally like, but the chips pair up with their food and with the salsa. And by that I mean it's some scooping up type stuff we're going to get on. It's going to get ugly. We're moving around cheese and refried beans, and we're going to these things. The chips become like an extra utensil. So we're going to give Montelongos. We gave them some love day. They're on Clovis Highway again. There's a lot of new Texas Tech people all the time coming in. There's a lot of new West Texans. And I'm shocked how many people don't know about Montelongos. They should probably advertise on this broadcast. Folks might know about them. Hi there, Neil. Hi there, James. Glad you're watching. If you want to talk Tech football, we can. The recap, the review of the season, the sitting around waiting to find out when you're going to play in a crappy bowl game. I got a feeling this year's bowl travel is going to be really, really light. Because, for one thing, over the last decade, Tech fans have realized the money I used to put aside for bowl games, I can go watch maybe basketball in the postseason or certainly baseball, if not in a super regional or regional because they're playing in Lubbock. Maybe I'll just go up to Omaha. Back in the old days, it was like, all right, we're going to set aside our, $3,500, $4,500 a year on the vacation and the following Tech to some crappy bowl game. Now they don't have to do it. Now most fans around the country don't do it. Gary's watching. We have that. Let's see, what else do we have tonight going on? Oh, wow. Matt Wells is a legitimate candidate. You remember Matt Wells? He's a legitimate candidate for the Oregon State job. Have they not been punished enough? They lost their former star quarterback head coach. They're losing their conference. And now I saw the report today, Matt Wells, perfect fit, understands the Pacific Northwest, highly successful coach, Utah State. I'm like, but then again, Matt Wells is going back by going to Oregon State, if he gets the job, to a level that he was successful at, that he couldn't be successful in a major conference. His recruiting philosophy, almost everything he did not elevate when he came from Utah State to Texas Tech. He didn't elevate anything. He just tried to slide that in. It doesn't work that way. So, it could be a very good thing. Christmas in May as a ring. Talking about baseball, I assume. He's a candidate. He is not legit. No, he's a legit candidate, 100%. CJ jumping in today, Andy jumping in, you guys jumping in. We're talking best Christmas specials of all time. On Tuesdays, we do what we call Tuesday's Best. Two best examples of a topic. Today, the topic was Christmas specials, and I threw out for me the Bob Hope Christmas special. You've got to be a minimum of 40-something years old to get that one. I don't know when the last year was that it appeared, that it aired, but in the 70s through the 80s into the early 90s, the Bob Hope Christmas special was the best Christmas special of them all. Now we have the animated shows and things like that, and they've tried to duplicate the Bob Hope Christmas. You can't do it. But his introduction of the All-American team, the football All-American team, was spectacular every year. You had a few Red Raiders over the years that were on there. Mark Bounds was the last one, I believe. He posted on my Facebook. I don't think it was on the Raiderland, but I think it was on my personal deal. He posted, a picture of him and Bob Hope. They're from 91 or whatever year it was. Gabe Rivera was on there. A few here and there. Does a drinking special after finals count? Yeah, it does. Where the last one that I attended after finals in the fall and the Christmas special was at a Mesquite's back in 91. I had a 735 that lasted about 30 minutes. We hightailed it across from Holden Hall over there to Mesquite's, and they started serving beer back in the day, a long time ago, at 7 in the morning. They'd take a few hours off, and then at 7 in the morning. So it was everybody from the hospitals and derelicts like us coming over there after a 7:30 final. It was glorious. We drank beer with nurses that morning. God bless the nurses. Loved it when we had the first team. Yeah, All-American football team. Yeah. Always enjoyed Bob Hope, Lawrence Welk shows. Hold on now. That was a little more than anybody wanted to know there, CJ. The Bob Hope thing was once a year. The Lawrence Welk was every Sunday or Saturday night. Saturday night, I believe, around 5 o'clock locally. And that meant you were hanging out with your grandparents. Yeah. All right. We know a little bit more about CJ than we wanted to know about. Yeah, so a drinking Christmas special would have been Mesquite's back in the day. There were a few other places like that, but Mesquite's was the one that opened up early. Boy, those nurses, God almighty, they'd drink you under the table at 7 in the morning. God love them. Yeah. Yeah, it was the last fall. So yeah, fall of '91 was the last fall I took finals, and went over there after that 7:30 a.m. final. Thursday morning, 7:30 a.m. Pounded pitchers with nurses. Merry Christmas. Not exactly the Christmas special I was thinking you guys would bring up. That's a pretty good one to bring up tonight. Best salsa you've ever had. We do food on Tuesdays here in Raiderland. We always do food. We make it official. Greatest best salsa, store-bought or otherwise. Hell on the Red, Old Tascosa, Old Carlitos. Different restaurants around town have different ones. Hey, shout out Mama Rita's for the salsa bar, the original salsa bar in Lubbock, going all the way back into the 90s when they'd have like 52 different little things of salsa out there. Good stuff. Treasure Island was always fun early in the morning. I don't think it was legal, though. I think you were just drinking and playing golf is what you were doing. Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. High quality entertainment. Yes, it is. Not a special, says Craig, but I love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yeah, that counts. That's like a special show. That's like a movie. We can throw those out there, like Charlie Brown Christmas Special, Elf, whatever. Chelsea Street Pub was Christmas Eve for me and my wife. La Fraganta, San Antonio, best salsa. Talk to me, Jeff. Tell me more about the salsa there. Why is it so good? Why is it so good? And if you want to talk tech basketball and tech football, we can tonight. There's really nothing to talk about right now in football. We're just waiting. Sit around and find out which bowl you end up going to that you don't want to go to. Find out which players hit portal. Is there really anybody that can hit the portal this year and leave that you would go, darn? I don't think so. Rest in peace, David Trout, the karaoke lead singing, keyboard playing stud of Chelsea Street. Amen to that. He's been gone a while now. Boy, Chelsea Street. That was good stuff, man. Hey, Weston, glad you're watching. Mike, same thing to you. Fire roasted poblano based salsa, just the right spice and heat, and taste it with their Everclear margaritas. You had me at Everclear. Hi there, $50 in a flask of Crown. Reed Boyd at Chelsea. Yeah, that was another good one. That's good stuff. Let's see what this has devolved into now. Instead of Christmas specials, it's where you guys went and got hammered drunk on Christmas Eve and doing Christmas shopping. Thank you. That's the audience apparently we have tonight. That's the way it goes sometimes. What's up? Did I make my Santa? No, I did not make my Santa. You talking about Happy Santa over our shoulder? No. That's straight out of the 1970s, baby. That's made out of little plastic, little melted plastic flakes that was somebody's art class project or something. Wow, CJ going all the way back to the Elephant Bar, which, you know what, put that out of business. They had a bacterial outbreak there. Killed it. Just absolutely killed it back in the day. The Elephant Bar. Best salsas, favorite salsas, restaurants or otherwise. Nobody laugh when I say this. Chili's. Yeah, Chili's. The salsa at Chili's is still as good as it was in the 80s, in the 90s, and the 2000s. And the chips, if they do them right, are just right for the salsa. They're thin, they're light. Don't laugh. You can eat yourself 3 or 4 bowls of that crap before they bring out the food, and you're like, done. Tomasta in Santa Fe, amazing salsa. I'm going to take your name for that. Yeah, Ben. See, Ben knows. We're about the same age. He knows. He understands. There ain't nothing wrong. There ain't no shame in the game when it comes to saying Chili's has got good stuff. By the way, the old Pace hot version of hot sauce. Well, I'm going to pretend I didn't read that. Have been somewhere of me and the X at Beer Depot Christmas. Pick guy. What was his name? Oh, you're talking about the guy who used to take all the pictures at Texas Tech? Yeah, I can't remember it. The old Pace. Pace Picante. Ain't nothing wrong with Picante in a deal. Chewy's decent salsa. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I've never. I'm not going to knock it. I've just it's never even crossed my mind when I was at Chewy's that this is good salsa. Manuel, son of a gun salsa. Buy it United. Restaurants in Midland, says Mike. All right, I'll go with you on that. What makes it good? Tell me why it's good. Every salsa is a little bit different. I'm a lover of salsas. I'm a lover of salsas. Hell on the Red used to be really good. It seems like it's real thin now. Used to be really good. Chewy's is jalapeno ranch. Chewy's jalapeno ranch. Patsy's watching. Everybody say hi to Patsy. Everybody say hello, Patsy. Glad you got here. Old boy from Party Time Photos. Yeah, I know what we're talking. Yeah, Party Time. This is like a certain era, I think, at Texas Tech. 80s, maybe early 90s, but definitely 80s. Party Time Photos. And you would go over there, and they'd have all these pictures posted up of like mixers and different parties and stuff. It's like maybe you're at the Kappa, Pi-Fi mixer or something, and you're looking for your picture and you go, oh, God. I was with her? I don't remember. I'm not going to buy that. Yeah. Chewy's famous for a former first daughter getting totally hammered at one of the locations in Austin. I believe Craig's Hula Hut, Chewy's Hula Hut down on Town Lake. See, Lonnie's being nice. I think it was the Hula Hut down there. The 90s Facebook. I had a friend busted for cheating at Party Time Photos. Now that I think about it, yeah, I had a buddy busted because there was like some picture of a girl kissing on him, and his girlfriend saw it. Party time. Yeah. Guadalupe salsa from the Pronto Mart. Pronto Mart. Where the hell's the Pronto Mart? They also made the rounds at all the bars. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Party Time would show up at like Lone Star and 14th Street Bar and Grill. I'm trying to think of all the ones right around campus. Baja's. What was the dance club down there after Fast and Cool and all that stuff got out? Basement, all that. Yeah, they'd be there. I'm not here. Cowpokes, yeah, down there on 3rd and Q. God rest Cowpokes. I was just old enough where I didn't have to go into Cowpokes until later on, and I felt like I was slumming it when I was at Cowpokes. Yeah, Coldwater Country, Midnight Rodeo. God rest Midnight Rodeo. When that building first opened, for those who are just tuning in, depending on how you know it as Cowpokes or Coldwater, now pardon me, Midnight Rodeo or Coldwater, it was a bowling alley. Then it for a little while, it was a W.D. Wilkins, and then it went all the way back and became Coldwater, I believe, with maybe one in between. That Uncle Nasty's and White Rabbit. You hung around some really bad places, CJ, and we're not going to tell anybody about that. Those are some horrible places, you know. You were there, Uncle Nasty's. Good Lord. You know, what were you doing after that? Going over to Jug Little's? Uncle Nasty's. Yeah. Anyone old enough to have seen a concert at the Rocks? Yeah, I think so. Rocks, Rock Z, Fast and Cool, Fast Tracks, all of it. Der Flug, yeah, you got that was quite the dive down there. What was that on? Was that on 4th or 19th? I can't remember. It's German for airport, obviously, and they had a great jukebox. They served beer in mason jars. You could buy Old English there at Der Flughafen, and the regulars hated it when the college kids rolled in, and they didn't like us, and they'd look up through the haze and the smoke of 5,800 cigarettes. And yeah, Der Flug was great, man. Good stuff. Once had a Salsa marinara salsa, Mexican Italian hero restaurant. Catch a can in Alaska one time. I'm gonna believe you. Yeah, 4th and Quaker. That sounds about right. That tells you that I can't remember exactly the street it was on. That tells you that I'm not lying, that I was actually there, because it's one of those places that it wasn't your. Okay, I would put this. It was either your first choice on the day, and then it was totally your last choice. Generally, it was somebody had an apartment or a the trailer park down there, and somebody lived over there, and that's kind of where we were going. Grubs and Suds had a couple of different locations. Grubs and Suds also down there on 19th by Texas Tech and University. Yeah. U2 played the Rocks on their first tour of America. Yes, they did. When it was the Rock Z, I believe. Just a little band out of Ireland trying to make good. 2 best Christmas specials of all time. Hey, we're hardly even talking any basketball. Why are we not talking basketball? 41 hoopshd.net. It's pretty good, you know. Give him a C for the effort. Basketball is hanging in there. Butler, Hinkle Fieldhouse. We all know Hinkle Fieldhouse, right? We all know why this is cool. We all the whole Finkel. I got Mark Finkner on my brain. By the way, what a wasted trip on Mark Finkner to go out to Las Vegas to call Lady Raider basketball. They should have brought in a professional. They should have brought in me. Fink could have stayed home with the family for Thanksgiving. I could have gone out there, could have done the games, take the pressure off him. Send Finkner out to Vegas. Good Lord. Anyhow, Nina Blackwood from MTV came to Rockies. Yeah. Der Flug really close to where Pinky's barbecue is now. So yeah, HD's got them as an 11 seed right now, and some people would be going, well, why do we care about Hoops HD? Because they're really good at what they do. Brackettville.wordpress.com, really good at what they do. We pay attention to them. And this is about as good as Texas Tech has been late November on those numbers in a long time, that they're not having to chew up a lot of ground, make up a lot of ground. If they'd not had a total brain fart twice in the game against Villanova, they'd probably be a top 30 RPI team. We still use RPI. We know what it means. You know what it means. I know what it means. We got gaps. I got gaps. You got gaps. Yo, together, and we kind of fill gaps. This is cup. This is link. This is cup and link. So we know what RPI means, and that Tech sitting at 41 right now is really good, because the last 4 or 5 years, Texas Tech has been in the 80s and the 90s, and even worse right now, beating teams they're supposed to beat. Yeah, and the schedule's not been really that bad. You know, that the schedule has been okay. It's not great, but it's been okay, and that's good compared to what you've had the last several years, which is just a dreck of a schedule. Horrible. Oh, well, you can get it on the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197 if you're watching on X if you're watching on YouTube or anything else. Hi there, Chip. Glad you're watching. So you go into this stretch. What do you got? You got Butler, then you're off until I can't even read that on my own schedule. Hell is that on the 6th? I can't tell you they're playing on the 6th. Here's a little hint. If you're going to run your own show and have a giant dry erase board schedule with all sorts of stuff on it, print big enough to be able to see across the room. Krista seems to have something going right with the ladies. Yeah, it's been going right the last couple of years. They just need more of it. This is a good team with a base. I think they're finding more scoring. Maupin is she's a player. She's legit. You just need more of it. Their key this year, they got to win nearly every game they need to win. They should win. And then after that, if you can go right around 500 or so in Big 12 play, you're going to be back in the NCAA tournament. Are the Lady Raiders legit with the record so far? Yeah, they're legit. They're just going to have to translate. Now, good news is the Big 12 is still good. The Big 12 is still really good. It's not the absolute murderer's row it has been at times. So I think middle down, and certainly with some new teams coming in, they're going to make an adjustment. So I really think that the team has a chance to get back to the NCAA tournament, and that's what you got to do. You just got to get back in and go from there. So the base is good. The recruiting is solid. They're talking to the right people. And it's a program you can be proud of. And some days that's pretty good, right? Yeah, I know what you mean there, James. So not bashing them, saying, all right, they were playing, but yeah, they're beating teams they need to beat. Yeah, just about done tonight. Hope you guys are checking out the daily commentary. Not sure. We got 2 different topics when I roll out in the morning, depending on what happens between now and then. 60 seconds of Raiderland, 60 seconds of Raiderland. The running joke is that it's never 60 seconds. Now, I may have to compress it to 60 seconds at some point. We're looking at syndicating that to some radio stations, and they kind of want it on a hard time. And I'm like, fine, okay, whatever. We'll do what we got to do. But yeah, hope you're checking that out. Whoever you choose to turn morning into night is doing a great job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We turned that over. We just kind of turned that back over to the guy who was doing it. Doing it. It's not hard. All right. Now we got to say goodbye to the people on X and on YouTube. So it says in stream. Yeah, in stream. Do you really want to end the stream? Yes.